Hi, it's Hannah here. I hope you've all had a really good start for the semester, and that you're already getting a hang of things with EDN206. In this video presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Task 1 and what it's all about and how it proceeds. You may have already taken a look at this in the unit outline and in the LMS. And if you are feeling a bit puzzled as for what actually is expected in this task, I don't blame you because I know it may look a little bit confusing as it comes in the different parts, and it's always a bit more difficult when you're online and you don't get to talk with others and uh, and the lecturer. So I hope that this video is going to make it a little bit clearer for you. So this is our task: ICT trends and issues, and as already mentioned, it comes in three parts. These three parts are, first of all, website. This is for presenting your findings. So the website itself is it's a platform. It's a channel of presenting your work, and we're also going to use the same website for the second task. Now, if you already have a website, and I know some of you do, because some of you have done some other units with me before, or other units here at Murdoch where you are required to create a website. So if you already have one, please feel free to use the one that you already have. There's no need to create another one unless you really want to. If you want to experiment with a different website creating a tool or something, you're welcome. But if you already have one, you can only just add new pages to your existing website. So no need to create a new one. The second part that's the actual content part of things here, and that's where you research pedagogical use of technology in your area of teaching or your area of interest. Or it says R of your interest, it should say area of your interest. And you will present and discuss your findings on the website that you just created in part 1. And part 3 is our peer review. In this task, we're practicing peer review, so it's not an official part of marking yet. It will be in task 2. So please make the most out of this opportunity to practice peer review and how it actually works, and how you can give peer feedback, and how you can benefit from feedback and use it to improve your work. This is a screenshot from our LMS, and these are all the resources that are available for you to help you with task 1. There's instructions and resources. There's information on how you can create a website. The first link, Technology Toolbox for Educators, is where you can find different website technologies listed, and I recommend that you just browse it. You check different options and see what might work for you. We have a tutorial video on how to create a website with Weebly. Weebly is one of the free website creation tools that we use, and I've decided to link the tutorial video for that particular tool because I think it's probably one of the easiest to use. So for those of you who have been freaking out and thinking that you need to start coding or programming, no, you don't. Using Weebly is probably easier than using Facebook. So if you're okay with Facebook, you will definitely be okay with Weebly. So just have a look at the tutorial video and see how you can create a beautiful website in no time at all. Then there's instructions for task 1 part 2. There's instructions for peer review. There's a lot of instructions here. And there's a link to peer review booking, and I'm going to show you in a minute how that works. Finally, we come to assignment submission. And here it's important to notice that even though we have 3 parts in the task, we only have 1 submission. So you do not need to submit your work 3 times, only once. So how you submit is you download the Word file that is available here, the marking rubric. It's also a great idea to download that as soon as you get started with the task, so you get an understanding of how it's going to be marked and what things are important, what should you concentrate on. So what you do when you submit is you just download this Word file, you fill in your details, you put in your name, you put in your student ID, and you put in the address, the URL to the website that you have created and populated with your research findings, and then you just submit that marking rubric through the LMS. And I'm going to use that marking rubric to mark your work and to provide you feedback, and you will get the same file back with feedback after it's been marked. So that's how it works. So the different parts. Here's part 1, website. And first, I'm just going to explain what you need to have on your website. So this applies to all of you, also those of you who already do have a website. So what you need to have there is a homepage. A homepage is where you explain why the website exists. And now, those of you who have already created a website for a different purpose, you may want to modify your introduction to the purpose of the website. So if you, for example, if you did one for EDN113 and you've written there, this website, the purpose of this website is to present my assignments in EDN113, you would like to modify that and just make it more general so that it also applies for what you're doing in this unit and for these tasks. So you explain why you have created this website. And that should be the landing page, the home page. If somebody types in the address of your website, that should be the page that they get first. Then you need an About Me page. And there you need to tell a little bit about yourself. And remember, this is a professional website. This is your teaching and learning website. So you, when you're writing your bio and if you're putting in a photo of yourself, you may wish to do it in a professional manner, meaning that you might like to explain that you're studying to be a teacher, you're studying at Murdoch, and all that sort of thing. And you might wish to reconsider that photo where you're in a party or drinking beer or whatnot. Think about this as your professional website. And please also include a contact form so that if anyone comes to your website and wants to ask you a question, they can. I would recommend for you not to put your actual email address there, just to avoid spam, basically. But the contact form is a good idea to have. Okay. Then you need to have your ICT issues and trends page. And this is where you put all the most important information. That you populate this with the findings that you get when you're doing part 1 of the task. But for part 2, sorry. But for part 1, have a shell there already with the heading and a place where you will put the information that you gather during part 1. But why do I get this wrong all the time? Part 2. Okay, so that's for the content side of things. And if you want to be really good and put some extra content for higher marks, things that you can put there is additional supporting info, links to some more resources. If you find more resources that are relevant for your topic, you might put in some images or link some videos that you find on YouTube. But if you use images, make sure that they are correctly attributed, so that you don't just do a Google image search and then link to an image, because you are basically not allowed to use images that are copyright protected. So you can put extra stuff in just to make it look even more professional and to demonstrate that you've really done a lot of background search and work with the task. So that's your website. These are some website tools. You also find this information in the toolbox for educators that was linked in the LMS. These two are really easy to use, Weebly and Wix. And both of them have tutorial videos that you can access when you go to their websites. And they are both free to use as well. So, what do you do when part 1 is ready, when website is ready? Just send the URL to me. And although I said that you don't need to submit the task, and you don't, I'm asking you to send me the URL once you've created your website, so that I can check that I can access it, that you've published it correctly and it displays to visitors, because that's really important. And then we have time to troubleshoot before we get to submission. So please send your website URL to me as soon as you've created it.